Yeah, and that's what people want. People want to make sure that they want you to ensure them that just because you took money from these lobby groups, that these lobby groups don't have the influence over your decision making.
Charlamagne the God over at the Breakfast Club has been doing a great job with his political interviews. Some people think that sometimes he's a little too lenient, but really he just gives these politicians or people who talk about politics in general the space and opportunity to put their own foot in their mouths. And recently he sat down with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, a man who raises millions of dollars in corporate PAC money, but doesn't really want to answer to it. He tries to deflect and change Charlamagne's questions so that we don't really focus on the money we take. Oh my goodness, maybe you should just ask questions that politicians are trained to deflect, not just asking them about taking money in general, instead of denouncing corporate money as a whole. But he will never do that because that system of corruption has led him to have some power. He's not gonna give it up now, but let's watch these clips and I'll give my thoughts on it afterwards.
Article in the New York Times about Democrats pulling away from AIPAC. So clearly it's having some impact on them politically if they feel like they gotta.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's become a political issue. You've used it as a political issue. You've questioned federal representatives when they're on here on that. I mean, I think if I can say this to you, not trying to offend you here, but I think it's a little bit of a shortcut and a little bit of a lazy question. I think the better question is, how do you really feel about Israel? How do you feel about a two-state solution? How do you feel about the war? How do you feel about, the hostages or hungry kids or what have you? I think demanding answers on those questions is more important than, hey, what about this lobbying group or that lobbying group?
Before Charlamagne continues, you see, Shapiro wants to focus on questions that he could easily wave off and give you the answer that he thinks you want to hear at the time. But what he doesn't want to focus on is who actually is funding him and other politicians. Because this isn't a specific thing for Shapiro. Corporate PAC money controls our political system. If people who have billions of dollars are able to purchase politicians, then who cares what they say they support or not? We know, because you took the money, that you're gonna do what the money wants you to do. Because if you wasn't gonna do that, you wouldn't have taken the money. And if the money didn't think you were gonna jump, they wouldn't have offered it to you. And if they give you money the first time and you don't do what they ask, do you really think they're gonna give you money again?
Well, what do you say to the critics who argue that U.S. foreign policy on Israel is often shaped not by national interest, but by the lobbying strength of these people?
I think that's a fair conversation to have. And I think it should be on any elected official at the federal level to say, hey, I'm listening to this group. But by the way, there's groups on other sides too. I'm listening to that group. But at the end of the day, we want our federal representatives to be able to sit here in this chair and answer the questions about why they voted A or why they voted B or why they feel a certain way. And I think it's just a little lazy to say, oh, it's got to be because of that interest group. Maybe someone actually believes those views, or maybe someone feels strongly about that particular way.
That seems like a good point by Shapiro. He's saying politicians don't change their minds all the time because of the money that they receive. He's actually making the worst point. If those private interest groups know you're willing to play ball, then they will fund you. They don't have to change your mind. They're paying you because they know where your mind is at already.
Is it possible for an elected official to get millions of dollars from, corporate donors or even lobbying interests and still really work for the people over those people?
Look, I mean, you've asked me a few questions on that, and clearly I know you're bothered by that. I think we're all bothered by the amount of money in politics, particularly the dark money that nobody kind of knows where it's coming from. But I think, largely the voters, I'll just speak to Pennsylvania, they're smart. They know who's on their side. They see it. I got voters who sometimes show up and vote for Republicans, sometimes vote for Democrats. They get it. I think that dark money can pollute it sometimes, can crowd out the voices sometimes. But overall, I think voters are a lot smarter and they can see through that.
When's the last time you told a donor no, even though it costs you politically?
That's happened many times in my career.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting anything unethical or illegal or the donor was trying to do anything unethical or illegal. But I've had them, sometimes say to me, well, I believe in this and that and the other thing. And I'll say, look, you know what? Keep your money. I'm happy to be your friend, but I don't believe in that. And I'm not going to do that. And again, nothing wrong or unethical or illegal, but they've got a different view on things than I do. And frankly, I'm not interested in, having their support if we're going to look at things differently on those fronts.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a problem with people taking the money. It's just that when you take the money and you're beholden to them, that's what I would tell elected officials. You don't have to be beholden to them.
Yeah.
Charlamagne, you were doing a great job, but what do you think they're paying for? What do you think they're specifically paying thousands of dollars for every time these people run for office? And it's not just the corporations themselves, it's all the executives and all of their friends in these dinner parties. So it's the numbers that we see and all the thousands of dollars that we don't even see. Like he called it, dark money. Why would they be paying all this money to not get someone that plays ball with them? Charlamagne, come on. You're too grown. You're too old for this. Don't be that naive.
Yeah. Look, I feel blessed. I've got a whole lot of people who have invested in my campaigns over time. And by the way, I'm sure some of them don't agree with some of the things that I stand for, but they believe in my approach to governing and the work I'm trying to do to help other people. And I feel blessed to have their support. But I can tell you there's not one donor or one group or whatever that I go, oh man, I got to please them, so I'm going to do something that I disagree with. I mean, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
People will always assume it's AIPAC though. AIPAC is the boogeyman in all of politics.
It's code for a lot.
Yeah.
And it's what I said to you before. And again, I mean this with respect. I think in some ways it's a lazy shortcut. I think it's more important that folks are being forced to answer questions about what they see as necessary for that region or on that topic or on that issue.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's something that politicians are going to have to continue to explain in the future.
Okay, so that is fair. I think if you're a politician and you take $1 from someone, you need to be able to justify taking that $1. And the justification could be, hey, look, they invested in my campaign. Doesn't mean I agree with them on every issue. A lot of people invest in the campaign, right? I mean, I think that the burden is on the elected official or the candidate running for office on that front, for sure. I think that's fair. But I think to just kind of presuppose, well, took $1 from Charlamagne, you must agree with everything Charlamagne thinks. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, and that's what people want. People want to make sure that they want you to ensure them that just because you took money from these lobby groups, that these lobby groups don't have the influence over your decision making.
I think, look, one of the things that I appreciate so much about how the people of Pennsylvania view me, and we see this in elections and polls after polls, they see me as being an independent voice and being someone on their side, and I'm proud of that.
If giant corporations fund your career to the tune of millions of dollars, then by definition, you are everything besides independent. No matter what you say in any interview, you will never go against your own money, because that's how you got your power. And for more proof of that, click this video to see Trump talking about his main donor and all the power that she's bought. Like this video, and if you're still watching, you might as well subscribe to the channel. Peace.